hey, there's an airport for the first time at Burning Man. What's Burning Man? In 2000, I had just got my license not long before in the late 90s, and bought a Skyhawk, and a friend of mine in 2000 said, hey, there's an airport for the first time at Burning Man. I said, what's Burning Man? And I went to their website and checked it out, and crazy art and crazy music and maybe some crazy people. And camping, and I love camping, and packed up the airplane with all the camping gear. I was living in Southern California at the time. Flew up to Northern California, picked up the buddy of mine who was also a photographer at the time, and we flew to Burning Man. And that arrival was fascinating because it was my first time landing on a dry lake bed in high winds. For what the winds out there can be interesting. And they had set up a rudimentary runway in a direction that was perpendicular to the winds at the time. But it's a dry lake bed, which is hard as concrete in every direction. It's like landing on a seaplane. Pilots will appreciate this because it's like landing on a glassy lake, because it's really hard to gauge distance and height over the runway. But I decided to set up for a nice stabilized, slow approach onto the dry lake bed into the wind, and just touched down as soft as glass, and soft, very, very soft. And it was so windy that I was trying to get to the tie down area and skidding along the way. Tied down the airplane and camped there. That year in 2000, there were 12 airplanes and 11 other crazy pilots, and we made some great friends, and kept going back, almost nearly every year with all the airplanes that I've owned, and I just had a great time. Ended up, because when you're there, you have an airport, you want to help, and so I ended up helping, and ended up managing the airport air operations for many, many years. A lot of fun. It grew from, the airport grew from those 12 aircraft to hundreds of aircraft every year. Everything from some jets occasionally, but usually small Cessna 150s up to Pulaski PC-12s, TBMs, and everything in between. And then up to many King Airs, Beech 1900s, which are 19-seat aircraft, and then 28-seat Dash 8 aircraft, which are huge. Awesome de Havilland Dash 8 aircraft are great airplanes. And we were, there's lots of people coming and going from the airport at Burning Man. A lot of fun.